Top Gun Maverick came out this weekend and it was a huge hit. But is it worth seeing in theaters? Let's dig in. So, Top Gun Maverick has been in development for a long time, and it was supposed to be released in 2020. July 4th, 2020, in fact, was the original release date. I think it may have even had one earlier than that. But obviously, due to global circumstances, it was pushed back and then pushed back again. I think there were 5 different opening date changes for Top Gun Maverick before it was finally released this year for Memorial Day weekend. Now, of course, global circumstances being what they were, this wasn't in control of Paramount or the studios or anybody that was making the movie. But they really felt like this was something that needed to be seen on the big screen and shouldn't just be released to a streaming service. So the question is, it's done great over Memorial Day weekend. It's made a lot of money, more than any other movie that's opened at Memorial Day weekend. But is it worth seeing on the big screen? Did they make the right decision? In my opinion, they absolutely did. This is absolutely a movie that you have to see on the biggest screen you can. We had the opportunity to go see it on IMAX, and it was totally worth it. This is a fun popcorn summer blockbuster movie, and it is just a great ride from start to finish. Plus, it hits all the nostalgia notes that I wanted it to hit. From the opening scene until the end of the movie, there is so much in this movie that reminded me of the original Top Gun. Opening scene is a great example because it is almost exactly like the opening scene in the original Top Gun movie. You've got the same music playing, the Top Gun anthem. You've got the jets pulling along the runway on an aircraft carrier, taking off, doing all that kind of stuff. And I'll be honest, I could literally sit for 2 hours and do nothing but watch jets take off from a runway on an aircraft carrier, and I'd be happy. I'd be satisfied with that. But this movie offers us so much more. Now, when you come back to a franchise after 35 years, there's a lot that could go wrong in the storytelling. And I'll be honest, that's probably where this movie suffers the most. It doesn't have the strongest story. But it's not a distraction. Like, it's good enough, which is very much in line with the original Top Gun movie. When you go and you watch Top Gun, the story's okay, but you're really there for the dogfights, right? You're really there for the jets and the high speed and everything else that goes along with it. And this is the same thing. The story's there and it's okay. It's serviceable, but it's not what draws you into the movie and it's not what keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time. And that's totally okay. Tom Cruise is the action star of his generation. I'm telling you, this guy goes hard in every movie that he's in. There was a time where I may not have considered Tom Cruise to be a big action star, but man, in the last few years, in the last decade maybe, with the Mission Impossible movies, and now with this movie, like, he has established himself as the big premier action movie star, and he brings his A game every time. That's what you can expect from Tom Cruise anytime he's in a film. And he gives a great performance here as Maverick. I have to say my favorite appearance was Val Kilmer as Iceman. And the way that they handled him in the movie and handled his performance was so sweet and so touching. I think it was just absolutely right and just so well done. And I really appreciated that they found a way to include him in the movie, and it made it that much better. What really stood out to me, though, was the performance by Miles Teller, who plays Rooster, the son of Goose. He does a fantastic job of really kind of channeling the spirit of Goose in this movie. He looks a lot like Anthony Edwards did in 1986. He's got the mustache. He dresses the way that he did that Goose did in the movie. He carries himself the same way that Goose did. Like, I bought that he was his son in every way, and I think that it was great. Now, the relationship between him and Maverick is strained, and there's reasons for it, and they go into it a little bit in the movie, but I wish that plot point had been developed a little bit more. And again, that goes back to the story being okay, but not great. But I promise, that's not why you're going to see this movie. You're going to see this movie because you're going to get some great shots of jets and fights and air maneuvers and naval aviators and all the stuff that you want to see in a Top Gun movie, and this delivers in spades. They went to a lot of lengths to get cameras in actual F-18s so that it felt as real as possible. and it delivers in that sense. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat every time they were in any kind of fight or in any kind of training. It was just really exciting to watch and to see. Now, the whole plot point, someone told me that, man, they went all Star Wars on it, and they kind of did. And when you go and you see it, and if you've watched Star Wars and you're a fan of Star Wars, you're going to see what I mean when I say they've gone all Star Wars. But I'm okay with it. It was still fun and it was still exciting. Overall, I think the movie delivers on everything that I wanted it to be. I wanted it to feel like the original Top Gun movie. I wanted it to be as exciting as the original Top Gun movie. There were moments in this film because it reminded me so much of that movie that I had goosebumps, like literal goosebumps, because of the nostalgia and the things that I was feeling. On top of that, there were moments that kind of brought a tear to my eye for the same reason. And I like a movie that can make me feel all of those things at once. I think the thing that I enjoyed about this the most is that it was the action-packed movie that I wanted, and it felt like a big Memorial Day release. It felt like we were finally getting back to the movies. And I know it's been a couple of years, and we started having movies back in theaters last year, but the selection wasn't great. This really feels like we're getting back to form with movies back in theaters, and I'm all for it. This reminded me of why I like going to a theater to watch a movie, as opposed to just watching it on a streaming service at home. Yeah, I've got a nice TV. I could sit down and I can watch a movie on Netflix or on Paramount Plus or whatever service I want to choose, and it's fine. Like, my picture's great, my sound is great. All of that is wonderful, but it's so different than being in a packed theater with people that are cheering at the parts where you want them to cheer, that are crying at the parts that you're crying at. You're having that shared experience on a much bigger screen with much louder speakers. Like, this is why I love going to movies. And so I would definitely recommend going to see this movie. I would recommend, if you're a fan of Top Gun, that you go and you buy a ticket to see this on the biggest screen possible. You won't be disappointed. I think you'll really enjoy it if you enjoyed the original movie. There's going to be a part of the population out there that doesn't care for Top Gun. Don't go see this movie. If you don't like Top Gun, this isn't the right movie for you. I mean, it is a sequel to that, and it has very much the same feel. So, overall, I'm going to give this movie 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like it's a strong film. I feel like, story issues aside, the performances from the actors was good, with a couple of maybe minor exceptions. Overall, I really liked the young actors that they brought in as the Top Gun students, and I'm hoping, or I would love to see them make a third Top Gun movie where they kind of focus on those characters instead of on Maverick. I'd be okay with that, because I feel like they all put in great performances, and I want to know more about each of the characters individually. So overall, great movie, great music, great. I mean, it was just fun. It was just a fun movie. Is it going to win awards? No, but that shouldn't be your expectation every time you go to see a movie. You should expect the movie to be what it is. This is fun, filled with action. I promise, if you like Top Gun, if you like those kinds of movies, you'll really like this as well. So there you go. Top Gun, 4 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the movie, if you enjoyed it, if you didn't like it, and let me know why. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have more of these kind of long form reviews. I like doing this on YouTube a little bit more than on TikTok, just because TikTok, I feel like I'm racing against the clock to get it in under 3 minutes. Now I don't feel like I have to do that. I can take my time to walk through the movie a little bit and bring up some of the points that I want to. So if you're into movies and you're into books, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I'll be reviewing books and movies right here. That Jake Dietz on YouTube. Thanks.